Good evening, class. I would like to say that from here on, our lecture in this class will be asynchronous, and then by January, we will have a, uh, a I would say consultation class, and of course, still continue with asynchronous. But from time to time, I will have a synchronous lecture, but more of interactive consultation and really checking your progress on the the learning task and all the other requirements in the course. No, then by January, I would like to give you a an advanced information. But by January, I will be giving you a long-term movie review for this class. Now, this movie review will stretch you for the whole month of January. But I hope that you'll be able to really wind up viewing the movie maybe in a week's time, and then do the questions later on after that. No? So that that will be a long-term exercise, and then I will also check on your assignment after that. But December is really not also a good time to have a synchronous class, but I would like to give you a little bit of consensus or concession rather, that our class will be each to your own convenience, or it will be at your own convenience, because I will be uploading lecture materials. Maybe module 3 and module 4, I will upload everything by December, and you can access the lecture at your own time. Okay, and then by next week, I'm going to give a module quiz for, I'm sorry to tell you this, module 1 and module 2. Okay, combine the two together. That is almost like a midterm exam. I mean, well, something like that. But I would like to, I prefer to call that as module quiz, actually. No, so it will not be long, but just to really pick some important points in the two modules. That is on uh, the first one is fundamentals of managerial economics, and also the module 2 is the quick review of the concept of supply and demand. Okay, supply and demand analysis, where you have the consumer surplus, and then you have also the producer surplus, and all those sort of other subjects in that, okay, say, topics in that particular module. No, so it's kind of lighter than expected. I understand your side. After all, this is a flexible learning mode, but I'm not going to shortchange you with like not lecturing everything, but I will adjust in terms of the deadlines of your assignments. But the lecture, I'm going to give you the full-blown lecture in my material. So that this evening, we will start with module 3. No? The module 3 actually will be an extension of what we have discussed on, say, in module 1 and module 2, but specifically to really position module 3, this is about the firm. Okay? Last module, in module 2, we were discussing about the consumer or the demanders, or I would say the concept about supply, where supply also is discussed from the vantage point of the demanders, how demanders react to supply, and supply as well reacting to the demanders. No, but this time this is specifically done, or this is a specific lecture on what is going on inside the producer, what is going on, no? The decision making that are also going on in the from the vantage point of the producer, and in other words, the nitty gritty theory and details in how producers make decisions in terms of providing or producing something. Okay, this module is module 3, and again, fasten your seatbelt, and let's have the formal lecture in a moment. So with that, I'm going to begin my lecture this evening. No, it's entitled "The Cost of Production and the Organization of the Firm." You have two aspects: the production side, the cost of production, how it affects decision, managerial decision, and the other one is the organization of the firm, how the firm decides, how the firm is organized in a way that is responsive to the demands of the customers, or even the demands of the market, or something like that. No, so that is our coverage of this course, and then down the line you will be expected to at least become familiar of the basic theory behind cost of production, and also the organization of the firm. What are, when we say organization of the firm, we mean the managerial decisions involved in the entire, say, production management decisions. Okay, so this particular lecture will start very importantly from the theory of production, or the production function. Now, from the material that I have given you in module 3. No, now production function is actually the engineering relationship, or the engineering relation defining the maximum amount of output that can be produced with a given set of inputs. When we say engineering relationship, we mean mathematical relationship going on, or let's say existing between the amount of output that can be produced for a given input that you are putting into the production process. Now, in this case, we are going to use, when we say inputs, we are actually going to use the very fundamental inputs, that is labor and capital. Okay. Now, in a very specific production case, these are subdivided. Maybe capital can be subdivided into other types of capital. It could be fixed or capital goods like equipment, or capital goods in terms of money to also be used in other, say, for example, semi, say, non, for example, semi, uh, semi-expendable, or this asset that are actually used in the production process, but it's going to be consumed within, for example, 1 year or 2 production cycles, for example. But those long-term assets, long-term capital cost will be like those that are, say, for example, fixed in a way. No, but in here we are treating capital as a general case, no? General, say, for example, general term. Now, to begin that, no, we have already discussed that the production function is the engineering relationship between capital and engineering relationship between input and output. No, excuse me. Now, if, for example, this is your production function, which is, or the output, the level of output is a function of capital and labor. It's the implicit function. Now, the production function summarizes that relationship between labor and capital and labor, combination of capital and labor to produce a given output. Now when we say production function or production function, we mean the production activities involved within the firm. No, could be planting up to harvesting. It could be like processing, or several other types of production activities. Now, in these production activities, there are also production activities that are short run. There are also production activities that are long run or long term in nature. Now the short run is defined as the time frame which everything, in which I would say there are two types of cost involved: the fixed cost and the variable cost. Okay. Now, what are these types of cost? Fixed cost and the variable cost. No. So the fixed cost or fixed factors, actually, these are costs of production that are held constant within that particular, say, within that particular production cycle. Whether you produce something or not, the fixed cost is fixed. You will incur this particular cost. Okay, while the variable cost is dependent upon the volume of production. If you produce something, if you do something, then you will incur this particular cost. Otherwise, you don't incur them because there is no production activities. So these are the different differences in terms of these two types of cost, fixed cost and production cost. And given the example, for fixed cost, you have machineries and warehouse, other types of fixed equipment, and variable costs. These are variable costs are costs that are totally consumed within one production cycle. Okay, so these are as far as short run versus long run production cycle or production activities considered as the decision making time frame. Okay, now if capital is fixed, then we will also say, for example, uh, put either an asterisk or a bar on that particular within on that particular output or representation of that input rather, no. So in here, this implicit function, we have q is a function of labor, which would mean implicitly as it is a function of k asterisk comma labor. The asterisk would mean capital is fixed within that particular production cycle. Okay, you vary labor and you hold capital fixed. Okay, now it can also be you vary capital and you hold labor fixed. It can be like that, but it is more we can easily appreciate or relate on something that is close to us. That means to say, in normal situation case, we always see labor as very easily understood type of input, no? Because labor is human involvement or something like that. No? That is just an initial scenario. Now, in one of the things also in production theory or production decisions would be a very important concept on productivity, no? If you are thinking about production function or production theory, we always are particular about the theory of or the measures of productivity. Okay, how are you going to say you are productive or not productive as, as rarely, or shall I say seemingly productive or apparently productive? What's your basis or something like that? No. Now, for purposes of discussion, we have three most important measures of productivity. Okay, one is total product. Okay, total product. No, measure the maximum level of output that can be produced. No? The maximum that can be produced within a given amount of inputs. Okay, and another one is average product. Also, you can also measure productivity using average product, which is just the total product divided by the input that you are particularly consider the input that you are particularly considering in that particular of any specific production decision. So in this case, a average product of labor is equals to total product Q all over the total employment of labor. Okay, and AP or K will be AP is equals to you have Q over K if it is for capital, no? And then the other measure of productivity is MP or marginal product. Okay, you measure productivity in physical units. Remember, if I will rewind a little, when we say production function, or when we say total product, we mean physical units of product. Okay, physical units. Now, marginal product is the change in total product per unit change in input. In other words, this is the per unit change. Okay, marginal product of capital, for example, is change in total product divided by what? Divided by the change in capital. You have also marginal product of labor, which is MPL. Okay, if you are also looking for the marginal product of labor, which is MPL, you also mean change in Q, change in the total product divided by change in labor employment. Likewise, MPK or marginal product of capital, change in Q divided by the change in unit of employment for capital, that is marginal product of capital. The point, note that the point where there is negative MP, this means continued employment of labor or capital will actually decrease output of total product. Okay, remember that marginal product measures the rate of change. Okay, now there will be times, or the initial application, for example, your production or your productivity is very responsive, but the moment you continue on applying this particular, say, input, there will come a time that the response rate would be decreasing, and in fact, there will be, it will result to a negative change in total product. In other words, say change in in marginal product, which means your total product is decreasing. Take a look at this one. Okay, take a look at this one. You have here a situation where what we are looking at is employment of labor and capital, or labor actually. No, this is employment of labor. From here, you have capital is fixed. Okay, fixed input. You employ only 2 units of capital, but in terms of labor, you vary the application of labor. Why should it be like that? Which it's normally, that's the normal thing we do in order to isolate the effect of labor as an input. Likewise, if you are going to understand the effect of capital, you hold labor constant, and then you vary the employment of capital. Which one gives you a more responsive, say, productivity measure? Okay, so in here we vary labor and then see that capital is fixed. So from here on, you will notice that change in labor input is constant. Okay, change in labor. For every employment, you only add 1 unit each time. Then what is the effect of that labor employment to your to your total output? First, you have here from 0 to 76. You will notice that fixed capital, even without production yet, you already incur capital cost because capital cost is fixed, right? And then you continue on applying a unit of labor. Okay, you apply a unit of labor. Down the line, you will notice also that there is an increasing response on total product. Okay, so it has increased from 76 to 2,156. So at ballpark view, or I mean at physical view, you will notice, you might say that it's really increasing. The total product is increasing, but that is not enough. If you want to measure productivity, total product is not enough is not enough, say, decision basis for our decision in order to say that which one is more preferable as a level of employment. Now, if we look at an actual situation, so in actual situation, for example, if you are in your workplace, now in your workplace, if you want to analyze productivity, normally you are only given these 3 columns: column 1, column 2, and then column 4. Mora na imong data. And then you will be asked, given this data, what should be our level of employment that we can get optimum response from our input applied in the production process or in our production activities. So if you have this data on output, you continue a little further in order to have a more finer look at the productivity measure. First, you need to measure on your average product, or you need to measure on your marginal product of labor, or marginal product. So you have here change in marginal product of labor is computed. What is the formula? If we backtrack a little, no, the formula is you have labor is change in Q over change in, you have L. So that means change in Q, Q is column 4, change in Q from 0 to 76, okay? From 0 to 76, that is 76, divided by 1, that is 76. From 76 also to 248, that is 172, divided by 1, because 1 unit change every time. So that means after you computed that, you will notice that the behavior of your marginal product of labor is apparently very clear already. That your marginal product of labor, okay, your marginal product of labor, at first, it is increasing at an increasing rate. But there will come a time that once you reach employment level 5, which is this one, employment level 5, your up to employment level 5 up to employment level 6, your marginal change on labor, marginal productivity of labor is already constant. 316, 316. And even when you continue on employing employment level 7, you will notice that there is a decreasing marginal product of labor until employment level, shall we say 11, where you will get a negative marginal product of labor. That means to say, it gives you a sign, okay, it gives you a sign that there is a certain point where you can maximize the response of your marginal, your output to level of input. Okay? So, you will be able to identify already that at this particular point, that is your hunong di na ka mo increase of employing inputs. Otherwise, decreasing na imong in imong say for example, decreasing na imong total return or total product, no? So that will give you a warning sign also. Now, if you for example graph that, okay, if you graph that, you will have this particular figure, okay? First, increasing at an increasing rate, then you reach this particular point. Now, what is employment level 8? Okay, employment level 8 is at the point where you have your total your total product or your marginal product equals your marginal or your average product. That one, okay, that one, you have there a very clear indication that this equality between marginal product of labor, okay, and the average product of labor signals, okay, signals that that is the boundary between stage 1 here and stage 2 there. No, this is what we call as the relevant region here, relevant region, because once you reach this, say for example, you reach this particular point where you have your marginal product is turning to negative already, from 0 to negative, then that also defines the boundary between stage 2 and stage 3 at this point. So, in other words, for a managerial decisions to be relevant, you choose an input level that is within stage 3. Okay, within stage 3, stage 2, I'm sorry, within stage 2. Because that is the more relevant range of production activities. For as long as you have this, you are making a decision within this region, you are maximizing your profit, okay, or maximizing your productivity. Why not here? Because the interval of change is increasing. Now here you are still picking up. That means to say you have to push the employment level up to the margin, sagad to the brim. In other words, no, it's not wise also from the economics point of view. It's not wise to stop your employment level at this point because your your productivity is still increasing at an increasing rate. Now here is the point where it signals that maybe any point at this particular situation here, depending on the cost of input, no? Because this one that we do not impute here price or price of input or price of output. Wala pa, no? Wala pa. We are only talking here in terms of physical units. So the relevant unit here, a relevant decision range is within stage 2. But it is different kung we factor in price of input and price of output, which we will discuss in a while. No? Because from within stage 2, if you factor in price of input and price of output, then you will be able to identify which particular point in stage 2 you are going to pinpoint or stop. That is your optimum level, I would say. But stage 3 is not the relevant decision point because marginal product is already negative. Okay, so this graph actually is very powerful as a conceptual guide in making the decision. Now, you have here the decision point lies or say for example depends on the behavior of the marginal product as it is also affecting the behavior of the total product. But the behavior of the marginal product on the table, which we have discussed a while ago, can be described into 3. Okay, remember you have here a behavior of the marginal product. Okay, so you have a marginal product from employment level 1 to employment level employment level 2. If at this point you have a marginal product is increasing at an increasing rate. Okay, now at marginal product with marginal product equals your average product, your marginal product is increasing at a decreasing rate. Okay, your marginal product is increasing at a decreasing rate. Now, here you have here increasing at a decreasing rate, but at stage 3 here, another behavior of your marginal product is decreasing at an increasing rate. Okay, so that is the behavior of your marginal product. Okay, you have here the point where your marginal product is or marginal returns to labor is increasing at marginal product is increasing. There is a decreasing marginal returns to labor, marginal product, and in stage 3 there is negative marginal returns to labor, decreasing marginal returns to marginal productivity of labor. Now, if you are the manager, in that firm, any particular firm for that matter, as a manager, you're in charge of production, for example. Excuse me. There are 2 questions that you need to deal with. No, the first question, okay, the first question for managers. First one is how to how to ensure that firm operates on the production function. Okay, how to operate? How does firm ensure that it operates on the production function? That is your role as a manager. Importante yung masubay gid sa production function. The second question is how to ensure that firm uses the correct level of input. Okay. Now, if you dissect the 2 questions very carefully, there is one question here that is almost like beyond the control of the manager. It seems like it is beyond the control of the manager, ensuring the firm operates at the production function. Second question is ensures the firm uses the correct levels of input. Now I am going to give you an information and say, sorry, I'm going to give you a differentiation here. For question number 2, okay, for question number 2, No, sorry. For question number one, rather, the, ensuring that the firm operates on the production function, making sure that everybody or like the input you have is enough to would really follow the requirements of the production function. Well, that is kind of easy on the part of capital. If you know that, if you know how many units of capital to use, if you know how many units of, like for example, fertilizer to use and other inputs, you buy it. I mean, you buy it, you provide it. Okay? And then, what about labor? Okay? You have to buy labor. I mean, you have to pay, hire them, hire your laborers. And then it says that ensure that the firm operates on the production function. Now, capital or any other capital goods, you can control them, meaning it is within the control of the manager. For as long as there is enough quantity of capital goods, you can just use them. But in the case of labor, how can you be sure that your workers will follow the production function? How can you be sure that when the manager is away, the mouse will not play? So that is the question. It's a principal agent problem, but we will tackle that in a while. The second question, so the first question actually already has a window that it is not within the control of the managers totally. Okay? There's a window there nga, critical kayo. It's not within the control of the manager, or the manager has no full control of the workers. How can you be so sure that dili na fake ng ilang mga diploma gigamit pag sulod sa imong sa imong firm? Or how can you be sure nga ang nakabutang in situ holder pero pag mangnupad di man di ay? Okay? So fake news ang imong makuha nga information. If that is fake, you will end up not being able to follow the tenets of the production function. So that question, the first question, is really something that not the manager has no total control. The second question is ensuring the firm uses the correct levels of input. Okay, well, ensuring the correct levels of input, what is the first thing that come into your mind if you say using the correct levels of input? What is the first thing that will come into your mind? Anybody? The first thing that will come into your mind uses the correct levels of input is actually knowledge on the correct combination of input. What is that? That one is what we call as technology. Okay? That one is what we call as technology. So the two aspects, no? The first question here, using the right levels of this is the second question, but I use this as I use this as the first item here. Why? Because this particular question, using the right levels of input, actually becomes a priority for manager. Okay, I will tell you why it's a priority also for manager. Priority in terms of really making sure that you know the technology behind, making sure that you are trained and you have the professional background on what particular or how are you going to manage the inputs. Now the second question here, producing on the production or on the levels along the production function, which is rather more difficult for the manager because you might have the input available. If you say we employ 8 people, because capital or fertilizer or whatever capital goods you have, this kind of input will not argue with you. But if the production function requires 8 people, 8 different mindset, 8 different kinds of attitude, 8 different kinds of physical capability, how can you be sure that these people will follow the requirements of the production function? How can you be sure na wala gyud mo absent ni ani? How can you be sure na wala gyud ma-late ni ani? Something like this. How can you be sure that they are present? How can you be sure that they are really working according to the requirements of the production function? If you have typist, for example, you hire the typist to do the encoding. How can you be sure that they are typing the right thing? Maybe by the time you are very far from your workers in the encoding, they are playing, they're doing something else in their desktop. These are the things that are very difficult for managers to follow. It's too cumbersome. It's too cumbersome to be inspecting the every minute of all your workers. So that is the difficult part. But let's tackle on the first question, using the right levels of input. The right levels of input points to a very specific requirement because this is relatively controllable on the part of the manager. That first question points to the very important requirements, how many units of labor to a particular relationship that are established in whatever piece of so like for example well-researched information or technology brochures or something like that, no? So to answer that, first, kanina we discussed that the measures of productivity, marginal product, average product, total product, those are in physical units. Okay? Now, to be more specific in our decision, we need to factor in price of input, price of output. Okay? If you employ one worker, you are paying him X amount of money, and then that X amount of money will produce an X amount of value of output. Okay? So, is the monetary value, equivalent monetary value of labor commensurate, or is giving you a profitable, or say for example, commensurate level or amount of the value of output produced. Okay? Baka mamaya, nagdugang kag tao, and then pagdugang ni mong tao, mas gamay pa man hinuon og output value kaysa wa ka magdugang. So that is very uneconomical. So we are now looking at monetary value comparison. Okay? So that's, in this particular situation, we are going to get into, okay, we factor in price of input and price of output. This is what we call as using the concept of value marginal product. Okay, value, what is a value marginal product? A value marginal product is the value of the output, remember, or take note, the value of the output produced by the last unit of that input. So, pila may value sa output na produce for every unit of worker gibudogang. Ningdugang ka, ningbayad ka sa worker, ningbayad ka sa worker, additional worker o 400, okay? 400 pesos. Ang kaning worker, inig trabaho ni, mo produce mo pugha ni o more than 400 or 400 ang inyong value po sa output ma-generate. Otherwise, kung 400 mo gibayad, pero ang increase nga, kuan, ang increase niya nga value of output, 250 ra, lugi ka. Di pwede. No, di pwede. In other words, no go. Well, di ta pwede mo hire nga. Mag-negative na hinuon ta for every employment sa labor. So, value marginal output is very specific on this kind of situation. Now, to determine the right quantity of input, the decision rule, okay, the decision rule here, employ a unit of an input, say in this case labor, so long as so long as the value sorry so long as the value marginal products of that input, in this case labor, is greater than or equal to the marginal factor cost, or simply the wage rate of your labor. Okay? Ang value sa imong output ma-generate by employing an additional labor, maka greater ba or pareho lang sa isuhol ni mo diana nga particular worker. So this is what we call as profit maximizing input usage criterion using the value marginal product concept. It could be marginal value product of capital, or it could be marginal value product of any other input, provided, okay, provided you are also very particular. Mugamit ka ng input, pila man ang resulting output, ana. Remember, one kind of input is constant, no? Ang capital ani constant. Imo lang i-isolate ang effect sa labor. Okay? To apply this principle, okay, we must first determine the benefit of hiring one additional worker, or simply the marginal value product of labor. Thus, the benefit of hiring one additional labor times the price of the output. Okay? The benefit, in other words, additional, okay, additional output, no, additional productivity as a result of hiring additional worker, times the value of that additional output times the value of that additional output. Simply, ang value ng additional output, i-times mo sa price sa output, which is your value marginal product of labor. Value marginal product of labor. So, which is your value marginal products of labor in this case, or VMPL, must be greater than or equal to the marginal factor cost. When you say, what's something a factor? Labor. So marginal factor cost of labor, or simply the wage rate you are using of labor, no? Wage rate. So, proceed a little further. Okay? We kind of reposition or replot the whole data kanina, no? So, we have computed this, no? We have labor, we have assuming unit price of, ato nang ibutangan ng price, no? Unit price of, okay? Unit price of output, and then, unit price of output, and then you also have employment of labor from 0 to 11. Maura ni ganina. Okay? Kani, gi-compute naman na nato ganina. Kaya from 76 to negative 44. It is computed already in the previous table. Okay? So, we compute for VMPL. How do you compute that? We simply multiply the marginal productivity of labor, or marginal product of labor, times the price of the output of that employment. Okay? Ang imong iyang output times the price, no? You have here kanisiya times ani, you will get this. Okay? Marginal product of labor. Do that in all the levels of employment. Okay? Do that in all the levels of employment. Now, get the last column, because the decision rule here is that the VMP, to be optimum in our employment of labor, the optimum point is at the point where your VMPL, or value marginal product of labor, is greater than or equal to. Kung dili nga ni greater, equal to. Pero mas maayo nagmakakita ng equal to, kana sagad to the brim gana siya. But then kung dili ka kita ng equality, get that particular point where VMPL is still greater than your marginal factor cost. This is the marginal factor cost, assuming your wage rate per day. Okay? Wage rate per day, 400. That's why 400 na constant nga repaingon. Okay? So you have computed this. So you start evaluating. This point, BMPL is less than or equal to 400, less than 400. So di na mao ang imong optimum level. Continue here. 876, for example, is greater than your 400. So greater. Pero wa pa ka di pa na mao nga naman. Kung tanaw ka dire, greater pa manggihapon siya. Okay? Greater pa manggihapon siya nga sa paupayong gubos. That means kinahang lang gyud mo, you push the level of employment to the margin. Manag-ingon sa Tagalog nga sagad to the brim, no? It's not economically wise nga you are still getting profit, or you are still optimizing profit, but you have to stop employment. No, for as long as nagkuan pa ka, nag-profit pa ka, you bring the whole employment to the, we call it the margin, to the margin nga kuan na gid siya, masagad gid mo tanan nga possibility for profit. Okay? So you continue, for example, in level of employment 8. Okay, level of employment 8, we have this one, 702 at 32 is still greater than 400. Continue another level. From employment level 9 is 516 is still greater than 400. So greater pa siya. So di pa gid siya maoy one good. But however, in employment level 10, you have 228 is already less than 400. Di na gina pwede ang employment level 10. So that means, kanina, the criteria or criterion is the decision rule, continue on employing the level of input for as long as your value marginal product of that input, in this case labor, is greater than, okay, which is this one, or equal to, okay, or equal to your marginal factor cost. So kaning employment level 10, violative na ni on all counts. Okay? Violative na. Dili na kamo pasar sa greater than, di pag yun kamo pasar sa equal to. Okay? So kaning employment employment level 9, pasar ka sa usa ka count. 516 is greater than 400. So pasar siya. O di man po na equal. Why? Kaya di lang sila equal. In other words, dili nimo makuha ang equality because these are discrete application. Di man siya continuous, no? Di man nimo makuha na siya. So that means when such is a situation, you stop at this level of employment. In other words, kung ikaw manager, kutob na ka sa siyam or 8 or siyam, pwede na, no? Within that range, 8 or siyam na employment level para bawi ka, bayad ka sa, if these workers are doing overtime, bawi ka sa imong overtime. Di ka alkansi, di ka lugi sa imong gisuhol sa imong mga workers. Okay? That is the benefit of knowing the value marginal product concept. Now, therefore, the answer to the first question kanina on what are the levels of inputs, katong first question nga, first question nga secondary question atong pinaka-primero pa, pero gihimo na nakong first question karon. Therefore, the answer of the first question of what combination of inputs to be used in the production process is actually technology. Okay? Naay technology, di ba? May mga technology. Pag makadawat ka, basta ka, this is the technology. It goes with it package of combinations of input. Di ba? Mauni fertilizer, mauni gamito nimo, mauni ang mga labor nimo, ayaw lapas og 5 ka tawo kada production cycle, something like that. Just like a few minutes, about 2 hours ago, I talked to a sweet potato farmer. He has a very specific technology. This time, low input technology according to him. Ang usa ka hektarya di gyud niya molapas og 2 ka tawo. Nga naa siya control po diri sa mga fertilizer. Cut down ang labor cost daw niya. So, a technology, in other words, na ay prescribe na combination of inputs. So, if you can get hold of the technology, you answered the first question. What is the optimum combination of inputs? So, the thing is, kung ang manager, you manage a certain production operation, importante unang-una, kabalo ka sa technology diha. Okay? Kung di ka kahibalo, ang usa ka question, patay na ka. Mas mapatay na pug ka dito sa ikalawang question. How will you ensure that everybody follows the requirements of the production function? So, very important for the manager. First, manage ka, then nakay-technology, nakay-technique, in other words. Kung nga yung kay kamuang-muang, that's why importante nga you hire somebody as a manager, experienced dyan. Dili pwede ng neophyte o pa may knowledge about the technology. experience. So that is very important. Why do you hire somebody experienced na for management position? Because exposed on sa technology. Okay? You don't hire a neophyte to do something, wala pa. Kuhan pa lang. First round, knockdown na. Pag second round, samot na. Yan na nakakuhan sa making sure that everybody follows the requirements of the production function. Okay. So we have to have the right and or appropriate technology to be productively profitable. Okay. Now, with that, according to Levin 2003, there are 7 principal methods which managers acquire information about technology. Asa man ta manguha ng technology? Okay, you have 7 right here on your screen. You have independent research and development. Okay, mga research, naka dito, mga pagkakana. You can also licensing or probably do you franchise a technology? Franchise a technology. Pwede ka na, mubayad ka. Okay? You can get also this various technology, which is, for example, mga publication. This time, either online publication or like that's a hard copy. No? Nagibutang sa YouTube, mauni combination sa fertilizer. That is already something, no? And then, you can also get a technology if you do reverse engineering. That means sa di na ka mag-research, ang katungkulang imo na lang tungkunan, no? Improvement of existing products. No? So that is something. The other one is hiring employees of innovation firms. Na kay competitor, na siya mga banggiitan kay engineer dito. Offeran ni mong dako para mabalhin sa imo. You can also do that, no? Although, in most cases, ang experience nila ima-ima mo. Kana karon ang mga engineer, especially or workers, working in a very secretive working environment. Di mo na basta-basta ma-recruit without, no? Kana nga mga tao dito sa iyang pinanggalingan, pagsugod pa lang sa trabaho, papirmaho na og non-disclosure agreement nga pirma ka nga dili ka pwede or liable ka kung mobalhin kag laing firm nga the same process imong gamiton dito sa imong competitor. Violative na, mahabla siya. Dili na pwede. But then, ang experience nila na dili man na patentable, ang ilang experience, ilang decision making, magamit na nimo. Magamit na if you hire employees from innovation firms, no? And then patent disclosure, pwede po na, no? Patent disclosure, makakuha kag patent or like you buy a patent, makibalo ka unsay ano. And then conversation with employees of innovation firm. You can also discuss with people who are from other firm just to get an idea. Murag di pa na pang-spy, di pa na mag-spy, espionage ka, but then it's some kind of like fishing for ideas. Here and there, istorya, wag na sila mo disclose, pero from the statement, murag ikaw, experience po ka, pwede na, imo nang put down every piece of the puzzle, makuha na nimo because you are also experienced, no? So, nganong lami mo itong puto dito speakers? Lakay puto, di mo ginmaayo ang imo. Nga istorya mo, sa may mo, papalamay para man ang kuanan ba, kanang nanak. Nako, kuanan man na, kanang humol man ako overnight niya. Maingon siya nga, dili sa, maingon siya, wala siya gidisclose pero maingon siya nga, dili man sa humol ang critical na ba, di sa humol. Unsa man di ay, nga, kuan lang, basig sa imo, ang temperature nimo or unsa ba, so, ingon na dahil ka, bitaw, no? Ang i-adjust. So, inana, conversation na without disclosure at all. But since you are experienced, murag makuha na nimo unsay kulang nimo, no? So, kuan kanang naay conversation lang. Nanguan lang ka, nanguan lang kang idea, no? Wala kang idea. So, these are the things that probably would be the source of technology in the production process. Okay? So, with that, okay, with that idea, you will have a also a process by which you will also be dealing, no? You will also be dealing with, like for example, a production process, especially combinations of input, okay, that requires discrete level of unit of application. Okay? In other words, katong ganina, atong i-compute ang employment level, 516 greater than 400, unya katong sa 228 naman. So, what you kakuha og ano, equality between 516 and 400 and 400. Why? Because discrete mo to, kanang, ano ba, specific ay sa value. But if you do some mathematical combinations, mathematical analysis, we can use algebraic method, which actually push the whole calculation to a more specific, a more precise, I would say, value. If you know what we call as the actual production function of the production activity. Na kay actual production function, relationship between input and output. No. Now in this case, I am giving you a a uh, a typical, or I would say, just a representative, what, a representative production function. Production function nga you will compute. Now, for example, if x1 here is what, labor input, and x2 is fertilizer input. So, in other words, you will get what is the combination of labor and input to get maximum profit, okay? Or optimum, optimum level of application. Okay, no? Now, in this case, this is a production function. Di ba kanina, okay? Di ba kanina we discussed about isolating one, because we, in VMP, we compute, say for example, for a specific, like, optimality level of applying or employing a certain input given the other output or given the other input constant. Okay? But in this case, if we use, for example, the algebraic form of production function, if you have a well-studied production function, you can actually compute the optimum combination of input simultaneously. Dili na ka maghulat sa dili na ka maghulat sa kanini ang what, sa dili na ka mag-hold o constant ang one input. Simultaneous pag-compute nimo. If it is labor and fertilizer, what is the combination of labor and fertilizer to be optimal, in other words, no? Optimality, no? So we use the calculus, the mathematics of calculus in this case, no? So we have here we have here the combination of input and like for example, input and combination of input, and also like a combination of labor and fertilizer. So you can use that value where you have a wage rate and also the price of input, which is 20. So you can actually use to compute for your marginal value product. Okay, this value here, wage rate, which becomes your value per labor, and you have also price of your output, which is a price of your price of your output, which is 20. You can actually compute for the value marginal product. Now, this one I'm just going to just qualitatively describe the whole process. No, or describe the whole process. If you have this well-studied, like well-studied production function, no, kani siya, you can only establish this particular functional form if you get this from the result of a particular research. May nani ni siya kung naadyo kay well-researched nga relationship, no? And then you use the value, no? Use the value and substitute that to the to the functional form, but in order to be able to solve it within the bounds of is and also well-behaved equation, you get the log from both sides and simply linearize the whole equation. Okay, linearize, and then when you linearize this, you substitute the value for your x1, x2, and then you get the partial derivative of q with respect to x1, given that x2 is constant. That means to say, if that is constant, get the partial derivative of this with respect to q, that means you get your x2 equal to 0. Diba? The derivative of a constant is equals to 0. So that will simplify now your solution for your x, and then x1. And then in using that, in calculating for the value marginal product, then you have to compute for the value marginal product is the first derivative of q with respect to x1. That is marginal value product. Okay, then multiply that with the price of the output, which is 20. Then you can get the marginal value product of, say, for example, x1, given that price is equals to 20. Now, you can do you can solve that x1 and x2 at the same time, getting the partial derivative of the whole functional equation. Now, in getting, for example, no, in getting, for example, the simultaneous determination of the, for example, the optimum value of optimum combination of input, we discuss on a very important concept that we call isoquant and isocost. Okay, isoquant and isocost. Now, first is we discuss on isoquant. From the word isoquant, okay, from the word isoquant, we mean equal quantity. Iso means equal, quant means quantity. And isoquant defines the combination of input K and L that yields the producer the same level of output, that is, any combination of capital and labor along a given isoquant produces the same level of output. Unsa nga combination sa imong input, labor and capital that gives you the same level of output, just like, for example, this one. So you have here the first isoquant, this one, this curve here, and the second isoquant. Now, the isoquant requires, or sorry, indicates the combination of capital and labor. Within this particular curve, and any point along this particular curve actually gives you like equal output. The second isoquant, equal output also along this curve, and so on and so forth, and such and so. No? Now, remember, these are combination, and then you're referring to equal combination. In other words, as you go along this curve, you will notice that there is exchange, trading off of one input with the other in order to produce the same level of output. Okay? So in other words, why that particular, say, curve shape as a convex curve? Anong di man siya straight? Moingon mo nga, anong na-curve, wa man na ma-straight. Okay? Pwede, di ay nga, ako ra nang gidrawing nga, na-curve ra na. Pwede mo po nag-i-straight. But there is a theoretical basis on that. It's not just simply putting that curve there and draw there and then convex siya. No, there is a reason for that. The reason for that is that if it were straight, okay, straight na siya nga curve, of course, tinan na siya curve, that is a straight line. It means that each one is a perfect substitute with each other. Perfect substitute. Decrease kag 1, increase po kag 100. Decrease kag 100, increase po kag 100. Perfect substitute, in other words. But where on earth can you get that? an input with perfect substitute, especially in this kind of input, different kinds of input, capital and labor. You cannot get a perfect substitution between labor and capital. That's why the curve, this particular line will bend convex to the point of origin. Because the further you go, the less you will really have to yield from one input. Likewise, the higher you go, the less in this X input, which is L, you will also reduce in order to be able to combine and get the same levels of output. So that's why it's bent convex to the point of origin. And that goes the same story with the input combination. Now, it is just but natural to see that you have an isoquant. The lower isoquant is always referring to a low level of output. The farther you go, it's obvious that you increase here, you increase there. That means to say you have an increasing levels of output when isoquant is farther from the point of origin, which is this one. No? So, in other words, very important, no? Very important for an isoquant is to determine the rate of technical substitution. As you substitution between capital and labor. If you go there, how much labor amount can you get? If you decrease further, how much amount of labor will you also increase? So down the line, as you go along this curve, you will notice a continuous substitution between one input to the other. And that substitution is what we call as the marginal rate of technical substitution, which is actually, if you compute the slope of this line, you are actually getting the what? You are actually getting the the you are actually getting the slope, no? If you get the substitution along this line, you're actually getting the slope of the isoquant curve, which is actually referred to as marginal rate of technical substitution, or MRTS. Okay? The MRTS is actually the quotient of your marginal product of labor over marginal product of capital. Okay? Marginal product of labor over the marginal product of capital. Okay? So, you have here a situation that is the slope of the isoquant is MRTS KL or XY. Actually na reverse lang ng ng curve, no? Awan ka ng labels curve. MRTS XY, that should be XY, or then you have MPL over MPK, no? Now, that is the isoquant. How far have we gone? We have computed for the slope of the isoquant, which measures the rate of substitution along a given isoquant curve. Now, we go to another concept of simultaneous determination of the optimum value or optimum input use, the concept of your isocost. The isocost now determines what? The isocost is your budget line. It actually, the budget line, syempre, you have price there. No? Kanina, single determination of optimal level, price of output, price of input. Karon, simultaneous man eh. We use the equation of the budget line. Okay? Which we call isocost. No? Isocost. Within a given isocost line, okay, within a given isocost line or budget line, there is a combination of the amount of amount you are going to use for labor and the amount you are going to use for capital. Amount, that means the wage rate times the number of units for labor, the interest rate times the number of units of capital. So that is the budget line, which is actually the budget line, or the C, or the isocost, is equals to WL plus RK. R refers to your interest rate, the cost of capital, no? while W is wage rate, which is your daily wage, okay, times the units of labor. Okay, so that means to say you have that particular equation of the budget line. Now, how on earth, okay, how on earth have we, like, uh, graph the line of the, for example, budget line in a straight line? Okay? Yun sa man po na nato, nga nga na straight line mo na diretso diha. Okay? Nganong po na mo curve, nganong na straight line mo na. Simple algorithm in math, no? The simplicity is like, if you are the producer, or if you are the producer, now if this is the equation, for example, this is the equation. If you use all your money in order to be able to plot, if you use all your money for labor and zero capital, how many units of labor you are able to really use? How many units? So let, for example, K equals 0. So that means to say, ang imong units of labor will be C over W. Okay? Eh, mas 0 naman eh. So that means to say, mahimo siyang C over W, which is actually this one. Okay? Kana siya. Likewise, kung imong tanang kwarta gamito nimo, this is just for simplicity in terms of how we plot, no? Imong tanang kwarta gamito nimo for capital, 0 ang labor, that means this quantity here is 0. Your budget will be C is equals to RK. So that means that total quantity of capital or units of capital that you can possibly use if you use all your money for capital is C over R. Okay? Which is, transpose naman na during R, you will get K is equals to C over R, which is this point. Okay? Which is that point. So connecting the 2 points, you now have a budget line. Okay? You now have a budget line. Now the budget line is simply, you have K is equals to C over R minus W over R over times L. No? That is your ano. Now, you have the budget line, and then when you say computing for the slope of your budget line, it's very simple. If you compute for the slope of your budget line, you have to, what is the formula for slope? The rise over the run. Diba? The rise over the run. So you can get for the slope. You manipulate that. The rise is equals to C over R divided by C over W. You can get the slope of your isopost, which is actually W over R. If you divide, you simplify, you divide the C over R divided by W over R, tanawa, di ba? Kaya ang imong W mo paigbabaw na ang imong R mo ubos. Mathematics na dili na economics. So you can simplify that yourself. Now, remember, the slope of your isopost is equals to W over R. Okay? W over R. By yourself, prove. How did you get your W over R? That is manipulating only by dividing C over R over, you divide that with C over W. So you will get this W over R. Okay? Now, in here, the slope of your isoquant is MRTS KL. Okay? MRTS KL. What is the MRTS ngani? MPL over MPK. Di ba? Mamanang imong MRTS. So, the decision rule for this kind of situation, the decision rule is that profit is at maximum or optimum, you might say, at the point where MRTS is greater than or equal to the price ratio. This one is the price ratio from your budget line. So tanaw nimo asa dapita ang points where MRTS KL is greater than or equal to price ratio. Okay, your price ratio. That means to say, compute nimo ang price ratio, nga ikumpara nimo na sa imong MRTS na value. Now, conceptually or diagrammatically, in your geometry, when the slope of two lines, okay, when two lines touches or tangent to each other, which is this point, no? When two lines are tangent to each other, the resulting slope of that line are equal. No argument in that particular theory. Okay, no argument. The two slope that the two lines touching together, the slopes are equal. The slope are equal, which means the equality he is at the point here, which is MRTS KL is equal to the price ratio of your labor and capital. So theoretically, your optimum combination of labor and capital is at the point of tangency, simultaneous determination of two inputs together. That also works the same thing with multiple inputs, the same concept, multiple lang. Although di na nato tractable din ang algorithm. But if you understand the whole point in two input system, it's very easy to project our imagination when there is multiple inputs using the computer already, because the same principle applies. Okay, no? So for single input optimality, you use BMP. Okay? For multiple inputs optimality, you use this equation or equality between the slope of the MRTS and the slope of the price ratio. So that is the difference between the two. So, kung gusto kang single input ra imong tanawon, pila optimality, BMP ra imong gamiton na. Pero kung gusto kang simultaneous determination, you go to the MRTS and price ratio. Remember this price ratio? This price ratio is the ratio of the input price. Dili ini output price, input price. Dali raman ni. Ang ratio aning input price kay og pilay wage rate, pilay wage the speaker, i-divide mo. Nana, imo na ng problema pag compute sa imong MRTS. Okay? Kay imo man ang tanawon every combination, no? So pero ang price ratio constant ra gyud na. Ang price ratio para ganina ang wage rate constant. So ang imong i-compute kadto ang employment level, single input to. Almost the same story. Ang imong price ratio usa naman ka value. Imo ra nang i-compare sa imong MRTS which varies from different combination. Combination 1, combination 2, depende kung asa napita sila mag-equal, no? Equal or ang boundary is greater than. Kung makakuha kang equality, that means totally good. Ma-compute ka na nimong equality, MRTS, then good for you. Konsya kayo. Very well behaved. Pero more often than not, ang imong MRTS, greater lang yun na siya. Slightly greater. Okay. Pang kayo. Kana pang naay gamay imperfection. It's okay. For as long as your MRTS is greater than your price ratio. Diha nakakuto. Okay? So, theoretically, determining the level of input application, you go for BMPL for single input, and then if there is multiple input, you go for the price ratio against MRTS. Okay, you can get the decision there. Input combination at optimal level. Now, the first question is answered using those two terms. Let's go to the second question. Okay. That means to say, ang technology recommends the input. Okay? The technology recommends the input combination. So, okay na kay technology. Pangita na kag input ron. Asa man ka mo palit og input? Because the input will be procured because you have the technology already. Okay? So first, labor, hire kag laborer. Okay. Another is, upalit po ka o fertilizer ba ito na? Sa kanang input ni mong kinahanglan. Or like, input like mga planting materials baka ha. Method, I mean, input sourcing, in other words. Now, there are various, various method of procuring inputs. Okay? There are various, importante, mangita mga inputs. Kay, you already have the manual, mao ni mong recipe, so asa mo ka mamalit ani mga ingredients. So, palit na ka, source ka. Uy, kani nga ingredients, gikan pa man ni Cebu. Uy, kani nga ingredients, gikan pa man sa bukid sa ana-ana. You have to procure that inputs. How the firm or owner assures that, or how the firm combines that inputs is now the question, if you have that inputs. So, reviewing the two questions, first, what is the optimal level of input mix? So, if you have the technology, nakita na kang imong recipe sa imong production process, then you answer the first one. And then, so mangita na ka, asa ka makapalit. Then, how the firm owner ensures that this input will behave according to the requirements of the recipe, according to the requirements of the technology. Now, going back to the methods of procuring inputs. Procuring inputs can be sourced from spot exchange. Okay? Spot exchange or informal relationship with buyers and sellers. Manguan ka. Mangita ka dito nga. Ato ka sa, there is one, I have a friend who is the owner. I don't know if are you familiar with Big Roy's restaurant in Ormoc? Are you familiar? The owner, Roy, no? Roy Pangilinan, but he is married to a Serapika in Ormoc. He's my friend, no? Ingon siya nga. He has a recipe in his restaurant. But very importantly, he needs to buy all the ingredients para sa iyang recipe. What he always do is spot checking. Siya gyud mangunay kumpra. Ibaw siya nga ang gwapong vegetable or gwapong ingredients very early in the morning na ana na. So, ato siya dito. Siya gito. The spot where he can probably get the material or negotiate with the supplier so that every time he goes there, na-lock in na niya ang iyang supplier na dayon, spot exchange. Okay? There are advantages to that. There are also disadvantages. The other is, in order to ensure steady supply of these inputs, you contract with the supplier of inputs. Okay? Contractual relation. Forming a relationship between buyers and sellers, each one obligated to adhere to specific terms for exchange in that legal document. Okay? So in that case, nakakontrata ka, then sigurado na-adyo mo supply ng mga inputs. Okay, may nga. Deliver to us 500 kilos every 2 weeks. Ano nga quality? Sigurado juga na mo deliver. Otherwise, you ihabla nimo sa korte, di mo kuan siya, di siya mo deliver. Or he will be fined if he is not following the contractual. That's something like that. Contractual relationship, no? Contracting. Or it could be, to be sure, you vertically integrate. Okay, you have a balut processing. Why not raise your own ducks? And then, as soon as you get the eggs, you have the steady supply of incubated balut, and then balut, you have a balut duck eggs. No? Or you have a restaurant, and then you are using duck eggs for your lychee plant, for example, cakes and pastries. So you vertically integrate, you have a duck farm. Tuwar ka magkuha og supply. Something like that. But it's also risky because you are multiplying the production risk and the marketing risk in that sense. So you are maintaining two sets of different production units. Well, that can be an option also if it is possible. So, and then with that, concept of negotiating with a third-party supplier, the concept of transaction cost can also get into you. And probably if you go into negotiation or contractual relation, you might also end up having difficulty in enforcing contracts, no? Enforcing contracts. That's why, okay, in making sure that you can get this input steadily and the acquisition process is full of hidden cost, you will always also suffer having to face transaction cost. Okay? That means to say, huwag sabi ni Saya pa, matransaction una ka usa ka makakuha sa inputs. In other words, there are a lot of imperfections in the market. You might end up buying expensive inputs also. So it's really also, especially if you are you don't have a network relation with the owner of the inputs. Okay, you are in an unfamiliar situation where you don't know exactly the nature. That's why before going into the actual production process, you see if inputs are available and what are the requirements in input. Ano. But transaction cost normally happens if you are in a differently structured market of inputs. No? Now, what could be this transaction cost? Search cost, okay? Search cost or negotiation cost, even goodwill cost. You know, what is a goodwill cost? Itawag lang na goodwill. I give you an example, two examples. What do you mean? These are source of transaction cost. In other words, transaction costs are supposed to be unnecessary in your procurement of inputs. If the market is perfect, that is transparent ang seller, ang seller o ang buyer can communicate together, but sometimes it is not as straightforward as that. Okay? Example, as I told you, you like for example, get a kilo of mango from grower somewhere in the upland mountains of Davao del Norte or Davao Oriental. May mga growers dito. Okay? You cannot go there by yourself because you don't know the terrain, but you need a volume of this mango for processing because you are processing mango. But you have to source this from various growers, no? You cannot only source this from one particular grower, maybe cluster of different growers. Okay, one is you hire somebody who will canvas for you to get and assemble the mangoes and bring it to your plant. That is cumbersome, but you need to pay that. That is what we call a search cost. Then another thing is negotiation cost in getting information where to get this particular and there is again another form of transaction cost, goodwill cost. Assuming na assemble na dito sa bukid ang volume sa imong mangoes, you have to bring it down. Okay, you have to bring it down, transport that by truckloads of mature mangoes for ripening, going to where your plant is. The goodwill cost comes in this particular format and form. It will pass through areas where there is a problem of peace and order. We have experienced that in one of our research in Mindanao. For a kilo of these goods, like for example, abaca, in our research, abaca going into the lowland areas, the nice people around in that area, in that border, will excise 2 pesos per kilo. Dagdag sa imong gasto. That is transaction cost. Assuming wala NPA. But customary area, pag-aari ng usa ka dato, customary, that means indigenous people Okay? The moment you buy something there and then you get out from that particular area, it is assumed that you need to pay the datu. You need to pay the, the tribal chief. But they are not going to, physically meet you there na na mukuan gyud kanang kolektahan ka nga inaan kag pusil. No, it is customary on their part nga respeto ka sa ila. That means go down ka pag-abot dito, aw nanay emisary na ipada dito nga mo atong sa imo kay balo na kana gikan na sa tribal chief dito sa bukid. Tagaan na nimo pila na ilang rate diha 1 peso per kilo di po ka kalimod. Maybe loose. The transaction is very loose, but not loose enough nga para sa imo. Why? The next time around you go there, no way makasulod ka kung dili kung wa ka ning bayad permiro. Goodwill cost. That is in the mountain. Adto ka sa pier. Another goodwill cost. Pagpakarga anang imong inputs, inigkarga pa lang, inighawas ana, ipaawahi na og hawas kung wa kay ana sa taga mga porter. Grabe na kayo mga these are transaction costs. That's why in input procurement you should be aware what are the types of transaction costs and how are you going to deal with that. That is a problem in the supply chain. Okay, we are trying to, that is there is a policy challenge there, how to minimize this rent seeker in the supply chain. Procurement of inputs. That's why if procurement of input is not very very easy, diskarte ng manager kung saan yun na pag-deal, pag-procure sa input so that using that inputs quantity, ang problemahon niya kung saan pag-produce niya following the production function. Okay? So, technology and the need to access inputs. Assuming na solve na nimo, the next and final question is, how can you be so sure when you have all these inputs? These are the bulk fertilizer, these are the seeds, these are other inputs, chemicals, etc. And then you hire people. Of course, you cannot just produce something without hiring people who will also work in the plant. So you hire people. Okay, this will lead you to the next question. Given these inputs and the labor, the quantity of labor, the employment of labor that you have, how can you be so sure that your production function will be followed from the letter to the letter? Maybe the fertilizer, ikaw may magbuot, pala mong i-apply, the chemical, etc., the seeds. What about kaning mga worker? This is the sticky part. Ensuring that these workers will behave according to the requirements of the production function. Okay? That is the very important challenge. The role of the manager, first, is to know the principal factors, selecting the input combination of input. That is the first question. The second question is ensuring that workers actually, because nana kay inputs, fertilizer, seeds, water, di man mga reklamo, ang labor nga part, di man po ka pwede guay labor. No? Di man po ka pwede guay labor. So nakay mo employ kag mga tao. How will you ensure that workers behave according to the requirements of the production function? Baka mamaya tuwa sa work area pero ang oras ang tapos dili ang trabaho. Aray na, no? Oras ang itapos, dili ang trabaho. I remember my friend who is interviewing. He was once a national sales manager of Sanofi International. Karon Sanofi Aventis naman karon. But before he retired, early retirement, he was the national sales manager, and he was also in charge of interviewing people to work in Sanofi, in their company. Kada bang manufacturer ng lactacid, no? mga feminine hygiene products, no? So, usa na silang product, Sanofi International. Then, interviewing people. He is always confronted with people galibanting in the workplace. How are you going to determine? No, how are you going to determine that these people will follow the requirements of the production function? No? Sometimes ma-determine na nimo dito sa interview. I also experienced this na interview ba, ngayon ko nga, interview may mga guard din sa in BSU, applicant for security guards. And then, one time, ako lang testingan, interview nga. Kana bang, security guard, pumutanan ako. Ikaw, Mr. Alex, ikaw Alex. You're applying for security guards. Then after this, after maybe about 1 month, you will be, since you are qualified, you become a regular security guard. Kasi mo tapol ka, ha? Adili siya ko I trust your word, di ka mo tapol, but I have a question for you. Kinalan mo kay balo ka? Uyon ba ka? Do you agree? No? Do you agree? Uyon ba ka? Na ang usa ka security guard, do you agree that a security guard, kana bang sa Binisaya pa, when you are on duty, dapat gamay kasikas mata dayon. Siya nga. Ingat po siya. Oo, sir, mata dayon, sir. Mata ka dayon, inig daay kasikas gamay, no? Gamay noise mo, mata ka dayon. Yes, sir. Ana na magyud na. Patog daay ka. Kay mata man ka. Dili, so ready ta patug dapat. Wow, bitik. I've take wala to try ra to. Gamay kasikas mata dayon. Angay mamata gid sir, nato kay ka mao ding mamata ka, di ka pwede mag security guard kay matug mag on duty. You sleep on duty, you are automatically fired, no? So anyway, that was my the specific experience of my friend was the national sales manager of Sanofi International. Was this very rampant ang workers in the company nga oras ang tapuson, daily ang trabaho. Okay? Oras ang tapuson, daily ang trabaho. Rampant na sa experience before. How are they going to address that? Interview na kay, ang uban ma-football, so interview na po sila. Very clever kaya nga question. Nga, Fred, you are applying for factory worker nini sa Sanofi. Yes, sir. Wapor ba kayo? Anong malumay ka ba? By the way, Fred, are you married? Yes, sir. How many children? Like that. So you will be receiving this much, and then you have this family, and then, by the way, do you have any vice or vices? What do you mean, sir? You smoke? Smoke ko, sir, pero siguro mga 5 to 6 sticks a day. 5 to 6 sticks a day, huh? Then you smoke that. Yes, sir, kanang kuan-kuan, kanang bakante. O kanang makalugar ko smoke, sir. 5 to 6 kuan. But I will not also smoke kung flammable ang area. Of course, you should not smoke when area is flammable. So, you smoke 5 sticks a day. Another question. It's found out that in the ranking of all this, katong a worker, wa madawat. Why? Ngano mas madawat? Nga mo speak mo sa 5 to 10 sticks of cigarette a day. Pero siya nadawat. Di man siya yung okay smoker. You know what? Ano siya madawat? According to research. Okay? According to research, for every stick of cigarette smoked by a person, that particular time period will consume 15 minutes on average. Diba? Watos kantina. Ato, snack time, break time, katos kantin. Dugay-dugayo, nagbuhot, ganito, ana. On average, 15 minutes ang mahurot anang smoking. Time 6 sticks. Pila may nahurot nimo kapig oras. That means alkansi na daan ang kompanya kapin og oras each day. If you do that, X. What madawat? But he's encouraging nga di jud ka mo smoke, but quick lang to nga diagnostics. Di pwede mao ning mga tao di ni musubay sa production function. Another problem, I have a Singaporean kanabang resource person nga na amigo po na ako, Mr. Andrew Nang. He was the former Chief Executive Officer, CEO siya sa Stabilo Boss in Manila. Stabilo Boss, kanang muhimo anang marking pen, bitaw? Or kanang highlighter nga Stabilo Boss. When he was the CEO dito sa Linis Manila, the rampant problem, no? The rampant problem was kana bang gallivanting on the workplace, either malate or why production, daily unproductive bisag na sa workplace. So pero kasagaran gyud mga late gyud ang mga worker, dagay malate. Almost 50% malate gyud 1 minute, 5 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. Worst is malate 1 hour, no? Mga ubang mga tao. So how is he going to solve that? So, nasa gibuhat. Wala siya gibuhat. Ang iyang gibuhat, when he was already, first day of office niya, observe niya, late. The following day, before the beginning of the next day, iya dan giingan ang security guard on duty come to my office early. And then, you're using logbook, right? And also the bandik log. Okay. The bandik log, but you have also the logbook. After you, namag-iban inig, anak sa bandik log, pag ato dito, di mo report na yun sa workplace, kaya dito sa workplace, logbook naman. So, yun nga, at 8 o'clock sharp, yun na yan. No contact apprehension. At 8 o'clock sharp, iyang inan ang security guard nga. Paglisi na og puwa, ang line, ang logbook, paglisi og puwa, man, paglisi lang puwa para sir, paglisi lang. That means, excuse me, ang musulod nga 8 o'clock, musuwat na sila, ubos anang baglis nga puwa. Kasunod adlaw, baglisan security guard, ang tanang uban, uy, ano na may puwa? So, team na ni sir, umupan ka na na puwa, nakasubos musuwat. So, di ka maka-fill up ng 8 o'clock nga, na may ubos na mas puwa, ang puwa, 8 o'clock man na. So, na kay mga late diri. So, daghan gyud na. In less than 1 week, wa na gyud ning baglis dito ubos sa puwa. Naning kamot na nga di malay. Following the requirements of the production function. That's ensuring nga dili musubay gyud number of hours. That's only one way. That's only one thing. What about kung tuwa na sa work? Basin unyag nagatubang sa desktop pero nagsolitaryo di ay nagtrabaho. That's another thing, no? And we call it ensuring that workers behave according to the requirements of the production function. But more often than not, dili man gyud na musubay kay mangita man gyud nagkuan asay why trabaho kaayo dawat ang sweldo. That is what we call the situation is what we call as the principal agent problem. No? When such is a situation, the manager has to be decisive and the manager has to really find a very innovative ways in order to deal with what we call as the principal agent problem. Ang simplistic equivalent aning principal agent problem, simplistic lang, before we discuss this in Module 6 more thoroughly, is that when the cat is away, the mouse will play. Mawagid na. No? Awa na si bus. Okay na ta. Nga na bus. Formal kaayo. Ba? So mangita yun paagi nga, oras ang tapuson, dili ang trabaho. Okay? Principal agent problem. Now, how can we really address this principal agent problem? Therefore, has been set in one simple question. How can the manager induce worker or the agent, ang principal ang manager, ang worker are the agent, not to cheat on their required time or on the required output. Kung saan nga di manikas. Fill up dito 8 to 5, pero as 4 media, wala na. Okay? Or fill up to 8 to 5. Pero ang output, di man equivalent to 8 to 5. That means there must be something wrong. Okay? There is some kind of cheating along the way. How can you minimize or in fact prevent that to happen? That is a challenge. Otherwise, hindi mo maabot ang output. No? So, solutions to the manager's worker principal agent problem, no? Usang mga solution ana is i-incentivize nimo ang ilang output. Could be profit sharing. For every, kung makakuha nga nita og kuan, makakuha nga nita og profit sharing or revenue sharing. So without very little supervision, as long as makakuha mutaas ang profit, they will get a share of the ano. Because supervision is costly. To do away with very minute or very tedious supervisory process, that's one way, profit sharing. Kung ginansya ta, kitang tanan bulakan. Pero ayaw po anang nag-profit sharing, bisag why profit. Oh, larabay ng corporation, labi ng government. Profit sharing. Wa may profit, pero nag-sharing maghapon. Oh, that is something else. Because in that way, kung maningkamot ang tanan nga mo profit yun, okay. Like for example, in one multinational company, ingon sila nga, for example, 95% reliability in the production process. Ingon sila, 95% reliability, that means 95% of time, ma-meet ninyong order. 95% of time, accident-free. Other thing, basta 95% reliability ang production worker. Maningkamot ng, because if you can attain that in every 6 months, i-evaluate kung 95% ba, kung ma-attain na ninyo nga 95% of orders are served, may bonus kada usa. May bonus. So I happened that my brother was part of that particular team na i-counter dito. Ano ba? Counter sa company. Post na digital counter. So far 19% reliability ta karon 96. Nya, everybody is aware nga kung yun. Efficient yun dapat para ma-maintain nila at the end of 6 months. Very bountiful bonus will be given to everybody. Maningkamot pag patak yun sa ika 6 months, unya 97% reliable ang system. 1 minute din hunong gud ang operation, pakpak sila tanan. Datong na magha. So continue efficient gyapon sila, they get a bonus the next payday. No? That is encouraging people not to share, instead follow the requirements of the production function. No? Patod pa nila naagoy na aksidente, nasamad sa kanang naay makina nga ilang gigamit o napaksitan bang kamot ba, dugo man, hindi naman na pwede i-report mo kaya hindi na mo accident free. Wala gi accident. Ang gibuhat giala lang ba sa iyang salina? Giala nga kasi mo sabi lagi madugo para di gud madas clinic. Ingon nga mara nagpuno og tikas bitaw nagkamot gid sila nga accident free gid basig kita rin makaingon ani di ka siya bonus. Ana bitaw. So, nagkamot in other words. Another is profit sharing or revenue sharing or piece rate by piece. Ano ba? Piece rate. So, incode ka. No? Encode kang kuan kanang naay encoder kanang mga kuan kanang mga like na mga encoding company nga naa sa kuan na sa mga kuan na sa mga BPO no encoding. So piece rate na or typing job baka ha hire kag secretary nya human ingon nga at least can handle typing 60 words per minute. Okay? 60 words per minute. So that means, mao na imong efficiency nga kinahanglan. So, na nag-apply, 60 words yun. Pag humana binig, okay na to, kay 60 words per minute yun. Pero kita na ang quality. 50% po ng error. 50% ng error. So, wag yapon. Lugi yapon ka, 50% mong error. Liman mao. Nagkaburbalikan ang mga article na sa pananguban. So, di na mao. 50 piece rate, 60 words per minute, 85%, 15% error tolerability. Okay na. So, naki-cut off sa error. Okay, baka mamaya, 60 words per minute, pero 60% po ng error. So, yeah, pwede. Madawa tong very high efficiency. Time clocks and spot checking, no? Kanang time clocks, ako na nag-explain kanina. Spot checking. These are just examples, no? Di pa ni mao. Spot checking, no? Spot checking. Very clear example. Katawang istorya sa inyo kanina nga, CEO sa Stabilo Boss. Spot checking, iya pong i-apply ni. Using technology. No contact apprehension. Dili mo kasabot, huwag anong nagkuhan mga. No contact. Makasibaw na to siya, na nagka-error siya, or nagkuhan siya, tinapulan siya. Siya rin mo check siya yung kagalingon, umukuhan na siya. You know what? It's like something like this. Each one, sa iyang dito sa accounting office or dito sa finance office naman tagsa-tagsa ka desktop, no? Pila na ka worker doon, tagsa-tagsa ka desktop. Nag-monitor sa supply, nag-monitor sa kanang naay delivery, nag-monitor sa sales, etc. Nag-monitor sa kading client, different. Nag-monitor sa kanang na international nga kuan, mga logistics, taghana. Sige na sila kuan sa ilang desktop. Karon, kada usa siya, to ra siya, layo ra siya. Ito ra sa iyang office. Pero, glass good gihapon, makita niya. Pero, kung to ka dito, or asa ka, unya, nag-atubang ko ng worker nimo, dito ka kahibaw, na siya sa compute, iyang desktop. Pero ka kahibaw kung siya nagitrabaho ana. O ang uban gani, naagid sa corner, para wala makakita din sa layo, anang trabaho na desktop. How can he be sure na ang kana nga worker nagtrabaho sa desktop nga trabaho yun, dili nang nagsolitaryo, nagduwa games, nagunsa pa na nagpatukar man na og music nga nag-headset ko na. Ana, saan man pagkuan, saan man pagka-ibalo niya. He used the technology. During his first week of office, iyang gi-instructan ang IT department. Okay? You use this particular apps, gamit na, and then that will give me the capability or at any given time I can randomly check any desktop for that matter, no? Bisag asa nga desktop check ko na kung sa Pulano ba patch, wala, check ko na kung siya random na any time of the day, random na. And then not only that, before he even do random checking, part of the programming ato nga software, whenever you work that is non-related to the assigned work, especially during, okay lang o break time, pero dili nga na break time, and you're working something else, dili break time, and you're working something else, nagsulataryo ba ka, nag-music, kapag-kaon sa panang uban, your desktop will freeze, mukaking, imong desktop. Di na mo dagan na imong mouse. Di mo ingon na ka sa IT, hello IT, di na mo dagan ang akong mouse. The manager will know that you are working not the kind of work na imong dapat trabaho. So when they learn that, everybody is watching everybody. Why? Ikaw, kaging na imong klaro ka, nagsolitaryo ka. So, wala. Nahulong dito. Iko nga, maodi ay na Singaporeans are very efficient. Because if you cannot be dealt with behavioral approach, you will be dealt with technological approach. So from that time on, 90% and above yun ang ilang output rate. Why? Because the manager or even the supervisors were able to prevent cheating in the workplace. Cheating in the workplace is very important, because that is the most difficult part as far as the role of the manager in the production operation. Technology, you can buy that. The inputs, you can also buy that. But something that you cannot buy, or even if you buy, but you cannot be so sure if these workers will work according to the requirements of the production function. There will always be some kind of principal agent problem that can happen. And as a manager, you should be ready how to deal with that. So with that situation, we just have to be innovative in making good ideas happen in the workplace. Thank you and good evening. I hope, class, that you will review this material, and not only review, go back to the module, and of course, if there are tasks or any material thing you need to uh, read, supplement this lecture with reading, right? Because I have given you the learning module already. Okay. Now, if you have some questions, we will what? I will entertain that January. Okay, January we will discuss those questions and then interact and then continue with the lecture. Module 3, this is module 3. We are done with module 3. Okay, we are done with module 3. The coming week, I'm going to give you a long quiz for module 1 and 2. Now, after that, during the Christmas break, I'm going to give you the quiz for module 3. I'm still going to lecture, but next week I will give you module 4. So that January we will have module 6 and module 5 and 6. And we'll be able to finish on time. Okay? But January we'll have module 6. Now, I'm going to give you like 2 quizzes. Module 2, 1 and 2 and module 3 during the break. Because module 4 dito na sa January. Okay? Now, you can get in touch sa atong I will check you by and by dito sa group chat, and you can check my model classroom also. So, with that note, thank you and have an advance Merry Christmas.